And hello, Henning Pauli here. Today we're looking at something different. Let me take these off. They'll come into play in a bit. We know Neural DSP as guitar players because they make absolutely brilliant modeling software, either with artists where then the software is kind of fantasy looking, which I really like because it focuses on the artist's vision and sound and not necessarily on their signature gear. But then they also have truthful replications, replicas, models of famous amps working together with the companies, whether that is Fortin or it is Morgan, Tone King, Soldano. That's the way to do it. We also know them as the makers of great hardware. The Quad Cortex has been one of the standards now in the industry, and the Nano Cortex made some waves, I think rightfully so. What do these people know about vocals? They do guitar stuff. Why in the world would they dare to enter into the world of vocal plugins? Well, I met Francois, that's the name, Francois, it's French, at Guitar Summit, and I didn't even know they had a vocal plugin. I did find out while at Guitar Summit because my good friend Valeria Soto from Chile said, "Hey Henning, can you ask them about the vocal plugin?" I'm like, "What vocal plugin?" Apparently it's called Mantra. So I asked Francois about it. He sent me, and thank you, Francois, Valeria, a copy, and we both could check it out. Now, background. I have been producing vocals for a long time. I've worked with some very, very famous vocalists who are known in the industry as, like, you know, the people that know how to fucking sing. And based on what people said after the albums I did with them, reviews and blah, 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 people in the know said, "Oh, Henning really knows how to produce vocals." So, you know, take that with a grain of salt because I'm saying it. Just a little bit of credit there. I worked with James LaBrie from Dream Theater, Sebastian Bach, Steve Walsh from Kansas, Michael Sattler from Saga, blah, 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 the list goes on. They trust me when it comes to vocal production, and I usually use a rather complicated vocal chain. I'm going to build that vocal chain for you, and we're going to look at Mantra, which is everything in one, including effects, including harmony, including everything. Now, not everything is brilliant in there, but being able, as a vocalist or producer, to have one plugin that does everything is pretty impressive. Now, because it is a full chain and a full channel strip, you could use it for drums, you could use it for guitar. We're going to look at that as well. Okay? So, I will do the whole thing, because I'm reviewing them at the moment, with the Baum Eclipse. Doesn't say. Very, very nice high-end headphones. They're definitely nice on the ear, but you're not going to hear that because I'm recording directly to a Zoom recorder. So let's go into the DAW. I have called up an older song of mine called Our Last Page with a beautiful vocalist, Hannah Mehl, who's very, very good. And we're going to go and twist some of her tracks. So here we are now in Cubase. This is a session not with programmed drums, but with a real drum kit. We're going to get into that once we look at some of the drum mixing. It is being helped with kick and snare as you do from Superior Drummer, but the rest is live. And I think this is my friend Klaus Tropp playing. So let's see.
My inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now, some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last pages filled with love and questions. Our last pages filled with hell and heaven.
There was a loop. Okay. Just because it's fun, I'll tell you that the vocals, Lewitt Ray, which is pretty damn phenomenal on the table instead of a shotgun mic, because it does measure how far you're away from the mic and then simply adjusts. It gets me pretty good audio for these types of videos. Let's look at the mix chain. For that, I'll have to bring over the mixer onto the screen recording. There's a dog drinking. Got 2 dogs visiting me right now. I'm going to turn off Mantra for now. So what I usually did for a vocal chain, I might do a deplosive, but let's not. So I'm definitely going to do a De-Ess from RX. Right? So I got some de-essing. I will definitely do some compression, and I am used to doing that pre-EQ. So we're using the LA2A for that.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memory.
She said leash instead of unleash. That bugs me, but hey, what can you do? Well, AI, you can do that, but we're not doing that here. My favorite EQ for vocals is the Mark EQ4, which is just absolutely amazing because you've got this air band. We're going to go to 10K and kick that up, right?
Memories are blind spots now, some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last page is filled.
So we got some plosives there. So I might do deplosive.
Filled with love and questions.
And that fixes it immediately. It works. So we got some fixing, we got compression, we got EQ. And what I then usually did is character. So Noveltech has the character. Oh, I don't have that installed here. Okay, so I don't have it installed. So character is a beautiful plugin that pushes the mids, especially for vocals, in a very natural way. They're cheap from Plugin Alliance and really brings out the vocals immediately out of the mix. So as you can see, that's already 5 plugins without effects, which I would use as DVR2 for.
Our last page is filled with hell and heaven.
And that, in the last couple of years, got me very, very good results. However, you can see that's a lot of stuff, that's processing, that's money spent, and so on, and so on, and so on. I'll turn Mantra on. Let's see where we are, just by turning that on.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my...
Now you can hear the vocal is already here. It's already very, very present. And let's look at what I did in there. Now, it has 3 modules. This is the, let's call it channel strip, or they call it correction. You can either double-click these modules to turn them on and off, or right-click. Up to you. Let's look at correction first. You can analyze what is happening in your audio with the sculpt feature. When you open Mantra for the first time, it will ask you to analyze. Most of the outcome is a bit weird to me. Most of the outcome is too much top end, too harsh, not the biggest fan, but you can try and see what happens and then adjust, right? Now let's look at the input section here. There's of course your input volume if you don't have enough or too much. Are you inputting a stereo or a mono file? In mono, you've got more options like tuning and so on, which you don't have in stereo. And are we mixing or tracking? Now on tracking, going through it, it is using a bit of less processing power and results in less latency. So if you want to use it for tracking and give the result from Mantra to your vocalist's ears, you can do that. But we want the full power, meaning we're going to mixing. Now, why is there a root and a scale? Well, because we've got a built-in tuner. Yeah, let's not call it auto-tune. That's obviously a product, but we have a built-in tuner. That is right here. Can pick your key, can pick your scale, and you're pretty much good to go. And then your hertz. So right there, I'm actually tuning the lead vocal. She's pretty damn good, so we're not going to hear a lot of artifacts or anything. But let's play around with that for a sec.
my inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now, some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last
You only get the sheer effect if you're going really, really fast. If you wanted that, sure, but doing some help, get the attack down and you're good.
pages filled with love and question.
Go to chromatic, allow her to do some stuff that maybe isn't in the key but is cool. So gating, click on that. You can of course click on it and then have more individual. So these modules look simple, but you click on them and then you have a lot more options. I could change the format, for example.
Our last pages filled with hell and heaven.
You quickly get artifacts here that you don't want. In the background might be okay, but not on a lead vocal. You can see the waveform coming in.
Down behind, gotta rearrange my and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now, some story.
Now it's vocal, so you're not going to need massive gating, but if there's some, rustling in the room in between, might not be bad. Here's the sculpt, which you can still change around a bit.
Stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently.
So this is kind of what it suggested. A lot of top end push there.
Silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last pages filled with love and questions.
Now it has a De-Esser built in. Killer.
Questions. Our last pages filled with hate.
Right there. You can even listen to the de-essing frequency. EQ is, of course, where it's at. Now, I know what I want from my mark EQ. I definitely don't want a high frequency roll-off. I don't know why that's even there. I turn it off. So there's an on-off button here, and there's a scale. So everything you did, you can actually do a little bit less of. Let's go to 4. Oh, let's turn 4 off.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now. Some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last page.
So that's what I would do with the mark. And push a little bit at 2 or 3K for the sibilants. And then we see how warm we want it in the bottom.
Pages filled with love and questions. Our last pages filled with hell and heaven.
We can hear it's already a pretty hot recording. We're going to the compressor. I mean, you can do quite a bit here. You can, for the high pass, low pass, Jennifer low pass, you can only do 12 or 24 dB. I would like that to be a little bit more tailorable. And I don't know, right here, I can change the Q, right? I can change the gain, obviously, in the frequency. I don't know what did I do? Did I turn all of them off? I hit shift. Ah, now it's soloed. Okay, I get it. But I don't know what knob to push. I don't know how to, right click is on off. That's convenient, like here, you don't have to go down here. But I don't know how to do Q with a modifier on the keyboard, which is a bit annoying. So I'm also now in the plugin, you can see it's accepting input from my keyboard, but I can't do start and stop. Also a bit annoying.
This empty house made my...
By the way, I'm running the VST3 version. Your mileage may vary if you're doing AU or any other kind of format.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind.
One reason why it's a little bit hot and saturated is because saturation is on. So let's turn that off for a second. We go into compressor.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent.
We got tube. Pretty much what I would like from the LA2A. Stress, so that's a distressor, much harder, and you've got a multi-band compressor. Pretty cool, pretty straightforward controls. It is meant for people that don't want to deal with all the mixing shit and get right to having good results. So let's go to tube.
And unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now. Some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so
Bam, there's my LA2A-ish kind of compressor. And here we're on saturation.
silently and chose to close your eyes.
Immediately the high mids and the top end comes in. The saturation gives you harmonics because of the distortion. It adds harmonic distortion. Tape, tube, or digital. If you want digital, go right ahead. If you want, crappy shit, of course, for a snare or whatever, for effects, that could be super cool.
Our last pages filled with love and questions. Our last pages filled with
I love that it looks like a Nintendo gamepad.
hell and heaven.
I get it.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now. Some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to.
Tube is more drastic than tape. Use sparingly. Yes, you get it out of the mix a bit more because you've got those harmonics being added by the distortion, but you don't want your vocals to be too distorted.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and.
And that is a pretty straightforward, quick way to get a lot of. Dog's looking out the window. To get a lot of what I had in my vocal chain with one simple, not simple, but one plugin, right? There are a lot of presets. Many artists here. Guitar solo, rock vocal. I mean, how applicable are these for what you're doing? You can try them, and if you like what it does, go right ahead. You can try them. If you don't like what it does, try something else. You can try them and go back to not using them and build your own, right? I mean, I always think I'd rather set it up myself. There are some 3 drums, some effects, mix plugins, and here are vocals from Neural. And you can see I started with rock tape, but then, of course, edited. Here's a master limiter.
And unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now. Some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes.
That's good enough. So let's go to the harmonies. Turn that on. That's pretty cool that that's built in. How effective is it? So we've got 4 harmonies here, right? Right now, all I have is 0 pitch, because it acts more as a double. But let's turn that off by right-clicking. It's much simpler than anything else. So we're going to go to the -12 here. So that is left-right. Up-down is volume. A very nice interface. You can even take the main vocal down, which they call DI. You have keyboard input if you wanted that. Neat. So let's go with the -12 for now, right?
Pages filled with love and questions.
Now, it's not the best pitch shifting in the world. Is it gonna work? Yeah. You'd be much better off actually having your vocalist sing that an octave lower, if possible. If you're mixing, can it fatten the vocals a little bit because you have a lower octave? It could. It is pretty artificial.
Our last pages filled with hell and heaven.
At that level, fine. And it's still setting the pitch randomization and time randomization, so it does sound a little bit more like actually sung parts.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now. Some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last pages filled with love and questions.
It's not shit, right? I mean, does it do it for not major? So that's why the chord library wasn't there, because I was on chromatic.
Our last pages filled with hell and heaven. This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind. Our last pages.
Honestly, you'd get more realistic sounding results if you go in the fake way anyway. And you go to Audime or any of the now AI services, plug in the main vocal, tell it what you need. You have different vocalists singing, slightly different performances. I know that's AI versus a pitch shifter. It's up to you, ethically, morally, what you want to do. Having your vocalists actually sing it is probably the best idea. This is acceptable, right?
Gotta rearrange. This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange.
I'm thinking it's in B minor, not G major. That could be the issue.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now. Some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last pages filled with love and questions.
And if you wanted to, you could even automate that, right? Okay, that is pretty damn cool. I'll have to admit that. And here we got the effects section, which is pretty damn cool because you have actually a mix for the effects for the main vocal and the harmony separately.
Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now. Some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close eyes. Our last pages filled with love.
You got an analog delay, you got a circle delay, you got a tape, and a dual.
Love and questions.
It's of course synced.
Our last pages filled with hell and heaven. This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now. Some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last pages filled with love and questions. Our last pages filled with hell and heaven.
Reverbs, 3 different ones. You got a hall.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind.
A plate.
Some childhood memories are blind.
And an ambience if you really just want to put the vocals in a room.
Are blind spots now. Some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last pages filled with love and questions.
That's a nice plate. And here we get some modulation if you really want that on the vocals, flanger, phaser, and chorus.
Our last pages filled with hell and heaven.
But the really cool thing, if you actually just want doubling instead of harmonies, don't do that with the harmony generator. Just turn the doubler on and you're good.
This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now. Some stories turn to lies. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes.
There you go. That's all you need to do. It's got a built-in doubler. That's all you need to do. I usually use different tracks for that, add vocals, but this is just doing the job with one click.
Our last page is filled with love and questions. Our last page is filled with heaven. This empty house made my heart old and sad. Leave my hometown behind. Gotta rearrange my inner continent and unleash my mind. Some childhood memories are blind spots now. Some stories turn to light. You left the world and me so silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last page is filled with love and questions. Our last page is filled with hell and heaven.
Now, of course, we have actual harmonies here in the sequence.
Close your eyes. Our last page is filled with love and question.
And they are also going through mantra.
Our last page is filled with hell and heaven.
I can't turn that on because it's in stereo mode. Makes sense.
Our last page is filled with hell and heaven. So close your eyes. Our last page is filled with love and questions.
It sounds like a lot in terms of perfection stuff, but it's there.
So silently and chose to close your eyes. Our last page is filled with love and questions. Our last page is filled with hell and heaven.
Okay, so really quickly, let's go into the kick drum where I tried it. I mean, it is clearly meant for singing, right? So I usually have neutron on, which is Isotope's channel strip. Actually, that's not true. I usually use UAD plugins, the good old stuff, 1176 and so on and so on. But in this case, I had neutron on. I mean, for shits and giggles, I'll show you what I would use on a kick drum without transient designers and stuff like this. I would have an 1176 compressor. That would be my go-to. I am helping the kick drum out here with samples, so it doesn't really matter too much what it sounds like.
Close your eyes.
Yeah, maybe a gate would be a good idea. And then actually use the graphic EQ of the API usually. That would be my goal, right? So let's see what I did there with the neutron, which has this weird curve and some shit that I don't understand, but definitely a gate and a compressor. That's not it. Not good. What did Mantra do? So I got the gating, I've got an EQ. I do like the simplicity of the graphic EQ because it doesn't make you go in surgically and really change what it sounds like, but it just subtly helps you craft without changing the actual idea of the sound. However, in context, Mantra did a pretty good job here. It's not the greatest recording of a kick drum, but with only that one plugin, I got something that could actually get that kick working in the track. However, of course, I have this helping. Okay, I did try it on the snare, but the compression and the gating together were bringing the hi-hat out too much, so I didn't like that. And on the electric guitars, let me show you what I usually have. This is my electric guitar chain. I have a Vertigo, where I go to guitar power chords preset, and that's it. That's my compressor for the guitar group. And then I've got the Mark EQ4, that's the Magical EQ. Go to 5K, push the shit out of that, get the low end out, and get some roundness in here. So I'll show you. So let's see what Mantra did. Like a high mid push there. It was based on this sculpt, which I did leave on. I don't know, why is the De-Ess on? And then I just went to Guitar Enhancer and saw what it did. It makes the guitars a lot clearer. So no, it's not just for vocals. When you get Mantra, you can definitely misuse it on other tracks if you want to. I mean, imagine sending snares or kick drums through it and then actually pitching them plus minus 12 or whatever. You could probably get very creative. Digital distortion, mangling tracks through Mantra's engine could be super, super cool. But of course, the whole idea is vocals, and it does a phenomenal job with one plugin getting my vocals where they need to be. Let's go to this section here. You know what? Everything is where it's supposed to be. How much is that thing? $199. Hey, there's a 14-day free trial. Maybe do that. Maybe do the 14-day free trial. And if after that time you turn it off and you're like, oh, damn it, I need this because it makes my life so much quicker and easier. My life so much quicker. We don't want a quicker life. That's death quicker life means death. It makes my workflow so much better and things sound good. Look, I'm going to use this now, even though I have these really complex vocal chains and I've been doing this for many, many, many years. This makes things easier. I mean, here are 2 or 3 quick tracks where mantra was in action on the vocals.
We rise together, never bound inside the waves. We find our voice, we break the chains, we make a choice. On going, the wind is ours, it's always blowing. We've got all the time in the world, my friend. No care, no wind, so we keep on rolling. Play it pure as all. This plug don't suck, no one cranks it loud. This plug don't suck like thundercloud. This plug don't suck, a gadget so small. This plug don't suck, it just does it all.
So, $1.99, buy it, don't buy it, go to their page, get it there, don't do it. It's up to you. I showed you what it can do. You heard it. From now on, it's your choice. Yes, they commissioned this video, which is cool. Actually, that's not true. I used the plugin and said, I would like to make a video for that. Do you have some kind of budget? We agreed on something because, I need to get paid for my work. But I wanted to make a video because I am impressed by what it does. It'll take a little bit of time to find everything out. I still didn't know all the features exactly as you could see, but still, it's pretty impressive. That's it from here. I'll put links below and animals at the end.
I wanna bathe in your ocean, I wanna dive in your sea. I can't tell love from devotion when you stand so close to me. Tell me the secret of your